Hello there, Eligible Magazine. This is Jess O'Reilly here, your resident sexologist, and my brand is Sex with Dr. Jess. Now, I've switched to video this week for this installment of Eligible Sex Column because I'm getting a lot of emails that I thought might be best answered in person or verbally. And I'm getting these emails mostly from men, actually all exclusively from men, and they are wondering, how do I introduce porn into my relationship if I'm afraid that my girlfriend or my wife is a little bit reticent or worried about being judged or even laughed at? So I have some tips for you. Now, before we get started, I want to say really quickly what I think porn is and what it isn't. So first of all, porn is intended as entertainment. It's there to turn you on and titillate you, get you excited, maybe even inspire you to try few things. But what it's not is education. Pornography is not education. They're actors, they're circus performers, they're sexual Olympians performing feats that most of us cannot do in ways that we simply do not experience it. So learning about sex from porn is probably the equivalent to learning about relationships from Jersey Shore. Probably not the best approach. Having said that, if you're into porn and it turns you on, that's totally normal. Just know that everybody's reaction is unique and everybody's reaction is valid. So I have a few tips for you. So the first tip I have with regard to introducing porn to your partner is to first start talking about your fantasies. Open up the floor and ask about her fantasies so she starts sharing. So it's not just a one-way street. There's some degree of reciprocity. You want to engage with porn. Maybe she wants to engage with dirty talk or a little bit of rough play. But make sure it's a two-way street. Now, before you move on to videos, I think it's really important to try and start with books and stories, especially if she's a little nervous or, a little bit hesitant about trying this. So see if you can pick up anything from 50 Shades of Grey to the really great erotica by Violet Blue. Pick it up and read it together. Have her read it on her own. She can underline and highlight the parts that she likes. You can read different sections to her and then move on to videos if you're both feeling ready. And there's no rush. There's plenty of time for sex. Even a sexologist thinks so. So when you move on to videos, start with the amateur stuff and even look at videos that are specifically intended for couples, as opposed to the hardcore mainstream stuff that offers really unrealistic representations of pleasure and, in many cases, a total denial of female pleasure. So see if you can start with the stuff that's a little bit more couples focused. Even the amateur stuff can be a little bit more realistic. And then when it finally comes time to watch it, give her the option to watch it on her own so that she can gauge her own reactions, get comfortable with it, obviously kind of learn to engage with it in the initial phases on her own and process that all without the pressure of somebody else being there or the expectation that she's supposed to react in a particular way. So those are my tips. Ask her about her fantasies, start with books and stories, look at couples and amateur porn, and give her the option to watch it on her own first. Best of luck, and I will see you again, Eligible. You can find me at Sex with Dr. Jess on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, and of course, follow along with Eligible Zine.